Ever wondered why a crowd of people often does nothing in the face of an emergency? This puzzling behavior is what psychologists refer to as the bystander effect. It's a fascinating psychological phenomenon in which individuals become less likely to step forward and help someone in need when there are others around. Let's imagine a scenario. You're in a bustling city square, and suddenly a person collapses. You'd expect someone to rush to their aid, right? But oddly enough, everyone stands frozen, merely watching. Each person assumes that someone else in the crowd will leap into action. This diffusion of responsibility, where everyone thinks someone else will step up, is the crux of the bystander effect. It's a strange quirk of human psychology, isn't it? This collective inaction in the face of a crisis. But what causes people to react this way? This brings us to a famous study that explored the depths of this effect, known as the Milgram experiment. In the 1960s, psychologist Stanley Milgram conducted a series of experiments to understand how far people would go in obeying an authority figure, even when it involved harming another person. The setup was simple, yet ingenious. Participants were told they were playing the role of a teacher. Their task? To administer electric shocks of increasing intensity to a learner each time they answered a question incorrectly. But here's the twist: the learner was actually an actor, and the shocks were not real. The true purpose of the experiment was not to test the learner's memory, but to observe the teacher's obedience. Despite the learner's cries of pain, a staggering 65% of participants continued to administer the maximum level of shocks, simply because they were told to do so. These were ordinary people, just like you and me, demonstrating an extraordinary capacity for obedience. So what does this tell us about human behavior? The Milgram experiment reveals the disturbing power of authority and conformity in compelling ordinary people to commit harmful acts. It uncovers a profound truth about our human nature, that we can be swayed, manipulated, and even controlled by those we perceive to be in positions of authority. This experiment serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of blind obedience, of not questioning those in power, and of the potential consequences of surrendering our moral judgment. Now let's connect this back to the bystander effect. Both phenomena, in essence, demonstrate the power of social dynamics in shaping behavior. They reveal how our actions or inaction can be influenced by the presence and actions of others around us. So, next time you find yourself in a crowd witnessing an emergency, remember, you have the power to break the bystander effect and make a difference. And always question authority, because as the Milgram experiment shows, obedience can sometimes lead us down a dangerous path.